I hate controversy because oftentimes controversial topics create a breeding ground for we as human beings to take a side and check into the ill-advised and destructive cult of personality. When people become members of this cult, opinions are formed, sides are taken, and divisions are created, causing the fall of even the greatest of houses. And that's hopefully what we're trying to do here in this auditing community. Figuratively, we're trying to build a house that welcomes everyone who lives and breathes the precepts that attach themselves to an absolute love for freedom and an undiluted hate for tyranny. But I realize that in life, you sometimes have to deal with controversial issues in order to parse out the truth from the lies. And let's face it, if we want to make life better, we've got to love the uncomfortable truth more than we hate the comparatively mild irritation of the inconvenience of controversy. Now, I said divisions are sometimes created. It's probably not a good idea to see all division as bad. And we can objectively demonstrate that not all division is bad. For example, you would have no problem dividing from a lifelong friend who you discovered was a serial murderer or had done unspeakable things to little children. There would be no objection to dividing from an individual who, for example, joined Hitler's SS so that he could inflict injury on those who refused to comply with the Third Reich. Life is a journey of exercising discernment and right judgment. With objective reasoning, you have to get the dead wood out of your life so that you can be free to continue the struggle upstream without unnecessary personal associations and hindrances. So while some division is bad, there is division that's good and necessary. You can't advance freedom while you're giving away your freedoms or giving the impression that the mere exercise of your freedoms is somehow wrong. And one more thing, this video is made with the intent of uncovering truth and revealing the fallout of the apology letter Sean Reyes from Long Island Audit issued to the Hartford Police Department. Some will choose to let their feelings govern their emotional response as they take this as a personal attack on Reyes. It is not. One thing's for certain. Facts don't care about your feelings or mine, and truth fears no scrutiny. If Reyes or anybody within the community damage the community and our freedoms in any way by empowering law enforcing, rights trampling agents of the revenue generating corporation, which is all American cops truly are, that individual deserves the greatest and strictest amount of scrutiny. Dare I say, brutal scrutiny. Why? Because as 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, demonstrates and succinctly articulates, a deterioration of any freedom for any reason from anybody is serious business. And if you doubt how serious freedom actually is and your rights actually are, read the last line of 18 U.S.C. 242. It's deadly serious. This is not personal. What you're about to see in this video is objective, demonstrable fact. And if you can't handle the facts without trying to unduly defend an individual, then you, my friend, need to reach into your pocket, look down into your hand, and realize that you are a card-carrying member in the cult of personality. And if you don't take a look around and immediately run to the exit doors, your cognitive dissonance will finish you for good. As many within what is known as the auditing community know, on May 5th, 2021, Sean Reyes from Long Island Audit, camera in hand, approached a roadside piracy operation conducted by the Hartford Sheriff's Department. As a refresher, this is the unedited Bodycam footage of the interaction between Hartford and Long Island Audit. Now, if you've already seen this, then just skip ahead 4 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yo. 4105 Ocean King. Another person's walking up on us now. Can I help you? Can I help you?
What's your name?
You can back up, please.
This is a public sidewalk.
This is a traffic stop. You need to back up.
This is a public sidewalk.
You can't walk up behind us.
On a sidewalk. Hey, listen.
Back up.
Listen, you don't know me. I don't
Back
know you.
up.
You don't know me.
I'm telling you to back up.
Like you
I'm
know.
telling you to back up.
I don't care. Who do you think?
Back up.
Millions of people watching.
Back
this
up.
video. You gonna
I'm telling you.
tase me?
Yes. Back up.
You gonna tase me?
Yes. Back up.
I'm on a public sidewalk.
Back up.
I'm on a public sidewalk.
This is a traffic stop. You do not belong here.
I am far away. I have a right to film the police. The
You can
Supreme
go over
Court-
there.
the Supreme
You're
Court has
interrupting.
given me- No, I'm not.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest.
For what? I'm on a
You're under
sidewalk,
arrest.
sir.
You're under arrest for hindering. Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Sir.
Turn around and
I'm
put your
walking
hands
on a
I'm
sidewalk.
telling you right now, bud. Put your hands behind your back.
All right, listen.
Don't reach in your pockets. Put your hands behind your back.
Sir, I'm not interfering with anything, sir. Sir, I'm not interfering with anything. I'm on a sidewalk.
You're under arrest. I told you.
For what?
Hindering.
Sir, I was on the sidewalk.
You can let go of this.
I was on the sidewalk.
You can let go of this. Everything's being audio-visually recorded, okay?
Sir, okay.
This is going to go in your pocket for the time
Sir,
being.
I'm on the sidewalk, sir. And sir, listen to me. Listen to me.
603 dispatch. Can you open up a separate card for hindering and mark 1095
Hindering
here?
For what?
Start me,
You're
supervisor,
making a big
please.
mistake. You guys are making a big. I'm on a sidewalk. This is a public sidewalk, sir. I'm allowed to walk on the sidewalk.
He told you we're in the middle of a traffic
But
stop.
I'm walking on the sidewalk, sir. I'm walking on the public sidewalk. Can I speak to a sergeant?
Yeah, they're coming. You're going to have a seat right here on the curb. Have a seat.
Yes, sir.
You good right there? Yeah, can you hang with him? Let me finish this up here. What's that?
Is the sergeant coming, sir?
Yeah, they're coming.
Thank
Yeah, I know, but
you.
he's fine right here. You have your in-car on?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna reach from here.
The mic? Okay, well, I don't want him up here with this guy.
Can I let you know something?
Go ahead.
I just want to let you know that what I do for a living, I'm a constitutional activist,
Okay,
and what I do is I film the police
okay.
from publicly accessible areas.
You can stand over there and film us from the front. You cannot walk up. Listen to me.
I was walking.
Listen to me.
I was going that way. You didn't.
No. You walked up behind us, and when I told you to back up, you're telling me this is a sidewalk. No, you can't get this
I'm
close.
walking down that way.
When the police are conducting an investigation.
I understand
No,
that, sir.
you don't
I
understand.
do this for a living, sir. I really listen.
Okay, but I'm explaining it
Millions
to
of
you.
people, I just want
Okay.
to talk to you. Millions of people see my videos, sir. I'm telling you. You can look it up. It's called Long Island Audit. I'm from New York.
It makes no difference to me about the videos.
No,
Listen
no,
to me.
no, I'm not saying that.
Do you want me to explain to you?
Yes.
Okay. Maryland and the Harford County Sheriff's Office, which I am, a Harford County Sheriff's Office deputy, okay? We will allow you to video. I don't care if you're standing over in the parking lot where I can see you, away from the traffic stop. But as soon as we do a traffic stop or any other type of investigation, we drop a bubble on the area that we're in. You're not walking up behind me.
No, I wasn't trying.
No.
Sir.
You walked from over there to right here. You're not walking up. Listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
You're not going to get the full answer unless you just stop.
I'm gonna listen to you, sir.
You walked from that car over there, this direction, right behind my truck, to the back corner of my truck,
That's why
right
I
here.
but it's okay.
Okay? And I told you no.
That's why I recorded.
I said back up.
I wasn't.
Okay, you don't want to listen. So we'll go ahead and charge. Okay? And then you
Come
can
on,
you
sir,
can.
listen, I have
No,
a-
it's not. Come on, you're under arrest.
Sir.
You're under arrest.
Sir, don't listen to me. All right. That's what you want to do, sir. I mean,
That's not what I want to do, but you didn't want to listen to me. You wanted to argue with me to the point where I had to take my taser out because you didn't want to stop approaching us.
Sir, listen. How about you let me go on my way?
No.
And we're not gonna.
Nope.
And we're not gonna.
You're going to jail.
Nope.
That's it. I'm not messing around with it, man, because I believe in your rights. Listen to me. I believe in your.
I stand up for the Constitution, sir. I got sergeants, lieutenants who have my back. I got county officials in my.
I don't
state.
care.
And sir,
You're not going to walk up behind me like that.
I didn't. I had no ill intent.
You took
sir.
my whole attention away from
Sir,
this stop over here.
I'm sorry for doing that, but
This is our business. Who is that guy right there?
I'm apologizing.
Who is that?
I'm apologizing.
I don't care about your apology. You are under arrest.
I'm not saying that.
I appreciate that you want to talk about it now.
No, you can
But at
do
the time,
whatever
you're
you
very
want.
confrontational, and it's taking my attention away from this
Sir,
gentleman
you
over here,
taser
whom you know nothing about. I pulled my taser because you kept stepping at me, bud.
Okay.
And my attention's over here.
Okay.
All right. They're coming. I apologize, man. Give me 1 second. I'll get you on your.
We all just watched the same thing. Now, to the average person, a flurry of questions begin to fill the mind. What were the cops doing? Why did they decide to interfere with this traveler's day? What crime did they suspect he had committed? Why were the cops so fearful to the point that Sean Rhea's presence caused them to pull their tasers? Which one of the state's laws did Long Island Audit violate in the cop's mind? Is there a law defining bubble dropping and the distance you should stand away from that bubble as the deputy indicated? Was Reyes involved in exercising the right to freedom of press? Were the cops' actions warranted and authorized by the Constitution they swore to protect and defend? Can the exercise of a constitutionally protected right be rightly construed as obstruction or a hindrance? Is it not an infringement when a badged agent of the state can set a parameter for the exercise of your rights? After realizing that Reyes was not a threat that they initially thought him to be, why did the cops not let him go? And why did Reyes say, quote, "You don't know who I am and millions of people watch my videos"? And why did he appeal to other tyrants when he said, "Sergeants and lieutenants and city officials have my back"? The bottom line is, number one, did Long Island Audit violate any laws that the cop needed to enforce other than the arbitrarily fabricated bubble drop law that spewed from this officer's mouth? Number two, wasn't Long Island Audit clearly exercising his freedom of press rights to record a public interest story? And number three, why didn't the cops let Long Island Audit go after they realized that he wasn't a threat, didn't break any laws, and didn't victimize anybody by committing a crime? It seems necessary and obvious to point out that it will always be dangerous to be right when the government is always wrong. Can you constitutionally walk up to a cop during a traffic stop with a camera? Absolutely. Is it always wise to do so when the uniformed clown is staggering, drunk on his own power? Not only is he bloodthirsty for power, he's currently paralyzed with the irrational fear of a man with a camera. Is it wise to continue to approach such a volatile, unstable, irrational rights trampler? Probably not. Lesser things have gotten innocent people shot. It probably would have been a good idea at this point for Reyes to say to the cops something like, "How far away would you like me to go to relieve your unfounded fears, you whiny little coward?" But hindsight is 2020, and that's not really the focus of this video. What is the focus is the apology letter that Reyes issued after the arrest. This is that letter. I would like to sincerely apologize to you for the incident that occurred on the night of May 5th, 2021. After careful reflection of the events that transpired, I now see that my actions were misguided. I want you to know that I take full responsibility for those actions. I fully understand your response to my actions that night. I now realize that a traffic stop presents a safety concern for law enforcement, and you have a responsibility to secure said traffic stop. I can see now you didn't violate my First Amendment rights, as you offered for me to film from another location nearby. I also would like to apologize for any collateral consequences that have negatively affected your family. I can promise you that never was my intention or desired outcome. I want you to know that I am a true believer in our constitutional rights that are afforded to us in this great country that we both love. I believe they should be appreciated every day. I can now see that if I had simply moved to another location, this all could have been avoided. I am a big believer in accountability, and I accept that I should have made better choices. My goal with my platform is to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the public, not lengthen it. I understand my behavior did not bridge that gap, but I write this letter with the intention and hope that I may right the wrong and begin to bridge that gap once again. I will never stop peacefully exercising my constitutional rights, but going forward, I will do so in a way that does not put the safety of law enforcement or the public at risk. This is not why I do what I do. My intention is to limit risk through accountability and transparency. Lastly, I appreciate the fact that you are in agreement to resolve this case by way of diversion. It shows that you as well are trying to bridge that gap, and I truly appreciate it. Stay safe out there, and God bless. Sean Paul Reyes. Now, a couple questions I have about this letter that has disappointed a lot of people in the community as it accrued mounting criticism. Reyes says that he now sees that his actions are, quote, misguided. He says he takes full responsibility for those misguided actions and that he understands the cops' response to those actions. Reyes says that they, quote, did not violate his First Amendment rights because they offered for him to film in another location. And if you'll remember from this body cam footage, that other location was in the parking lot on the other side of this grassy area, not on the public sidewalk.
You can stand over there and film us from the front. I don't care if you're standing over in the parking lot where I can see you, away from the traffic stop.
This would effectively extinguish Long Island Audit's ability to film with clarity and would keep him from being able to record what the cops were actually saying as they were conducting their corporately sponsored traffic stop. Later in this letter, Reyes says that his goal with this platform is to, quote, bridge the gap between law enforcement and the public. And I would have to personally ask him what he means by this, because as far as I see it, this is an infinite gap between tyranny and freedom. And there's no bridging that gap. After Reyes issued this statement, Hartford Sheriff Galler used the letter as a springboard during a press briefing to take a victory lap against anybody who would dare exercise their freedoms from that day forward against his department.
As many of you are aware, on May 4th of this year, 2 of our deputies were conducting a traffic stop on Route 40 in Joppa when an individual who identifies himself as a constitutional activist purposefully and deliberately approached our deputies from behind and under the cover of darkness. A short 24-second clip of a cell phone video capturing the incident and arrest posted online by that individual generated public attention back in May. As sheriff, I responded publicly with our own body camera video of the encounter so the public could see the event in an unbiased and unedited manner. In my initial statement, I said we would conduct a thorough investigation into the incident, and that process has been ongoing since May 4th. In the meantime, the criminal case against the defendant in the courts has now concluded, with this defendant entering into an agreement with the state's attorney to avoid a criminal conviction through diversion. As part of the agreement, this defendant will perform 10 hours of community service here in our county. He has apologized in a written letter to the involved deputy for his actions, admitted to the wrongfulness of his actions, and apologized to creating a situation that put the safety of individuals and police at risk. He has also withdrawn his formal complaint against the deputy. With the decision of the defendant to withdraw his complaint, this administrative investigation will now be closed. Although the defendant was not interviewed as of the complaint being withdrawn, I will offer that our Office of Professional Standards did not identify any violation of policy or law during the already completed work of the administrative investigation. To once again be clear, as your sheriff, I respect and value a citizen's First Amendment right, as do the members of this agency, but no one should believe this is the same as being able to say and do whatever you might want. Just like you cannot shout fire in a crowded theater, individuals are not permitted to interfere in the duties of our deputies or police officers in general. There is a fine line to be sure, but sadly a line the defendant in this case decided to cross, a line he himself admits he crossed. With that said, there are a couple of points I do feel are important to note. First and foremost, for anyone who watched the release footage, at no time during the incident did our deputy ever mention the fact that the defendant was videoing. Why? Because the deputy didn't care if his actions were video recorded. We utilize in-car camera and body-worn cameras that record citizen contacts already. In addition, our personnel, including this deputy, are recorded by citizens frequently. That is not why this defendant was arrested, and at no time was he ever told he was being arrested for recording. In fact, an alternate location was suggested that would allow the defendant to capture the entire incident on video while not interfering with the traffic stop, something this individual readily admits he should have done. This individual was placed under arrest after refusing to obey the orders of the deputy to move back and hindering the deputy in the performance of his lawful duties. A minute ago, I mentioned the line that the defendant crossed. Even though the formal letter of apology was just received, I have no doubt that even the defendant realized he was overstepping going back to the initial night. On May 4th, right after he was arrested, the defendant repeatedly apologized to the deputy for his actions and asked to be released. This was something that he did not share when he released his initial 24-second video. In a second video he released in early May, which utilized some of our body camera footage, once again the defendant decided to omit his apology to our deputy. I can only assume these actions were done so that his followers wouldn't see his apology for themselves, and sadly, this led to many hateful, threatening, and derogatory calls, emails, and messages being sent to our office and to the deputy himself. This, too, is something the individual also now apologizes for the collateral consequences that have impacted the deputy and his family for just doing his job. To close, I would like to thank our Harford County community for their patience and understanding while we allowed these investigations to be afforded the necessary time to be conducted in a thorough manner and allowed the criminal justice system to perform its function. Sadly, this is all too often not the case in so many communities across this country. I would also like to reiterate my appreciation to the men and women of the Sheriff's Office and those in law enforcement across this country for the great work they do every single day.
The only thing wrong with what this sheriff said is that almost all of it is couched in lies, beginning with the air quotes around constitutional activist.
When an individual who identifies himself as a constitutional activist purposefully and deliberately approached our deputies from behind and under the cover of darkness.
This is a lie. You can clearly see from the body cam footage released by this same department that both officers were facing Reyes as he approached him, and both of his hands were clearly visible. He did not approach from behind. The under the cover of darkness part was a subtle but disingenuous phrase crafted by his department to cast a nefarious lens over Long Island Audit. And this may not seem like a big deal, but public relations terminology like this serves to diffuse critical thinking and inserts an almost invisible bias into the minds of the unthinking. If it's true that Long Island Audit posted a 24-second video of the encounter without providing the rest of the footage in context, that would not be a good thing on Long Island Audit's part. The sheriff mentions that this became a criminal case. Well, if that's the case, then what's the crime? Who is the victim? If there is no victim, there can be no crime. In criminal cases, the state can't be the victim, and there was no other victim, so this charge of criminality is bogus on its face. As far as the diversion is concerned, the sheriff spoke of it, and Long Island Audit included it in his letter. A pre-trial diversion is actually a plea agreement between the prosecutor and the criminal defendant that allows the defendant to maintain a clean record. Now, after Reyes and his lawyer issued this apology letter, many in the community responded negatively to the fact that he took a plea deal. In fact, and this is strange, but Long Island Audit issued this video right here entitled Transparency and Accountability Long Island Audit. And what you're seeing here on the screen is a snapshot of my computer's history where I had the video pulled up. I had that video opened in a tab and I'd watched about a quarter of it. When I went back to the video to finish watching it, it said that it had been removed by the uploader. Now, this video was up on his channel for well over a year and was just removed on January 9th, 2023. I don't know why he removed it unless there's something in there that he wants to hide, which would be inconsistent with the transparency and accountability title. So Sean, if you're watching this video, please put the video back up so we can all see what you said. What I do remember him saying in part of that video is that he, quote, did not take a plea deal, but rather a diversion. Now, it's possible that he doesn't understand that there's little to no difference between a plea deal and a diversion, although that's difficult to understand why he wouldn't understand that, since you wouldn't accept that as a remedy if you didn't understand what it was and what it meant. Now, I don't condemn anybody for taking a plea deal. Sometimes it's better to lose the battle so you can walk away to later win the war. My problem is not that he took a diversion, and I don't think a lot of people have a problem with that. The problem is that it appears that he apologized for exercising rights. So when he apologized for himself, he also, by extension, apologized for every single one of us. And you never apologize for exercising rights. The next thing he said in this video that he just took down is that he didn't apologize for exercising his rights. To me, this letter leaves a completely different impression, especially when he could have made it crystal clear by saying something like, while I could have backed up to alleviate the officer's irrational fears, I was well within my constitutionally defined rights to be where I was recording a public interest story on a public sidewalk. Instead, Reyes' broad language leaves the impression that he views exercising rights as, quote, misguided, and that the cops didn't violate those rights when the body cam footage tells a completely different story. The cops did, in fact, violate his rights, and Reyes did, in fact, do nothing wrong. Listen, the only way we change this world is to unflinchingly and unapologetically stand on rights that power trippers are constantly trying to take away. Now, recently, a reliable, trusted source told me personally that Reyes said that he didn't write the letter. Reportedly, he tried to dodge this by saying that his lawyer wrote the letter. And if that's true, if he really did say that, and he denied writing the letter, that doesn't even matter. He might as well have written the letter because he signed his name to it, giving an amen to the contents. All the contents. If you want to really change this world, the only way you can do that is by changing yourself. If you become a good person, you create a good world. And you're not being a good person if you're lying about what you've actually done. Again, I'm not saying he did this, but a reliable, trusted source says he did say that. And here's some more food for thought. This is what we know. This is what we can objectively look at. There was a certain exchange between Long Island Audit and San Joaquin Valley Transparency that reveals the heart of Long Island. So I'm going to leave this with you, and I'm going to read it. Long Island Audit said, I want nothing to do with your community, or should I say gang. I don't know. I've heard so many things. I didn't call everyone a hater. I called you a hater. And that's because you are. LOL. SJVT says, why would I be a hater? I helped your channel grow when you started. Then you began lying to me on a personal level. You cower from the truth. You begged for donations and took the divergent plea, which I have no issue with, but you lied to the people. How is pointing out the truth being a hater? The truth is, you're the hater. You haven't helped any channel grow. You look at everyone as competition, not the other way around. You call yourself the GOAT from your sock puppet accounts that you made 30 minutes ago. I never lie to the people like you do. I'm always putting it on the table for people to sort out. This time, it's your turn, you sloppy clown. Keep talking smack and exposing yourself. Now, here's the part that really concerns me about Long Island Audit, if indeed this comes from his account. He said to San Joaquin Valley Transparency, quote, and I continue, it's not easy to fight so many battles at one time. And people think the color of my skin has nothing to do with it, but I know that you know. These white auditors have no right to speak on my decisions. They go to the same places as me, yet my rights are violated. Wonder why. I respect what you do, and I owe a lot of my success to you and others. And on October 29th, 2021, Long Island Audit said to San Joaquin Valley Transparency, I really looked up to you as a fellow Hispanic when I first started watching. Now, Sean, why did you say these white auditors have no right to speak on my decisions? I invite Long Island Audit for a sit-down interview to clarify anything that may have been misconstrued in this video. And as a suggestion, in the interest of transparency and accountability, Long Island Audit, if you're watching, leave me a public message under this video beneath the pinned comment so that you can clarify your position. A couple days ago, I sent a message via one of his last videos and his community tab. You guys leave your thoughts about this in the comments below. Subscribe, like, and share, and above all, fight for your rights like your life depends on it, because it does. I'll see you in the next video.